Buddy, what's up? This King Harp sitting at my dinner table again. I want to ask a question. Why in the world? I'm not. I'm not putting nobody down. You know, I love my people. We love our people. I always use my cap. We love our black people. We love our people. So there's no putting nobody down. But I got a question, and I just want to know because it's pretty interesting to me. Why do we as black people have so many different groups, religious groups, and so forth? And I think it's gorgeous in its own respect. It is. But the questions still remain. And I'm always we allowed to ask questions to do an assessment so that we gain more intelligence and so that we have more sophisticated ideas. So we understand what's happening, what we might have not understood. So I want to know, and I've asked myself this for several years, and I've came up with things. And I think that in my assessment, from the way I look at it, we're looking for our blackness because we've been divided so much. But we, as a black people, we set the world trend. Because if you notice, everybody else religion always stayed the same. We the one ventured off into different kinds of sectors of gatherings, and that's religions and sector of meetings to be more sophisticated and more diligent in that, due to the fact we suffered, due to the fact we was locked out of something. So we got the Hebrew Israelites, we got the Nation of Islam, we even got Jehovah's Witnesses, we got the Southern Baptists, we got the Apostolic, we got the New Voices of Black Media, which belongs to everybody. That's a lineage. We got ADOS, we got Black First, we got FDA, we got the NFAC. You know, we can go on and on about what we have as Uprise. Now, in my opinion, that's creating a network. And a network is very important, it's very relevant, and it's also sustainable. But you have to have balance and understanding. So we see ourselves in this place, and it's like that. And then I want to speak to it in another way. And I want to say, we all, as black people, we know our history was the church. You know, the church. Well, our mothers got together and they cooked potato salad and fried fish and cornbread, and we all got ready for church. And we talked about whether we going to college, and the church stood up and clapped, and we tried to learn in the church, and we went to the church to get an education, the rights to vote. We hid off in the church to have political meetings. I mean, it was there for your protection. It was a protective mechanism of the community, a protective hub for the community, the church, a building so you can come to and, socialize and, you know, proxy each other for whatever nature of respect, whatever sustainability you're looking for, safety net, community, family. And what happened is the church let us down because it turned into something else when they start building cathedrals. People getting rich off the church, but next door neighbor and the people down the street can't afford a new roof or a new front door. We don't have economics no more. They're not teaching you how to survive no more from the church. You don't have classes. You didn't modernize your church adjacent to society. You just made the cathedral, the building look better. You put escalators in it. You put guards around, security guards, where people can't get to the stage, where there's a pulpit now that looks like a coliseum, where the lights dim and concerts come on and different things like that, where people are locked out now of being one-on-one in terms of sharpening. There's no counseling for you. Now, some do have it, but it's based upon religion and how you should be. Yes, I think the church should have a holiness space. There are people who are holiness, who love it. Jesus. Let them do it. That's a tangible source of existing under God. So if they want to do that, that's fine. Our Creator, our God, our Yahweh, our Jehovah. He's many names. He's too big to declare in one space, except for the Creator. The beginning, and He is the ending. Alpha and Omega. So there's a time for all things under the sun, even war. And that's where we at now. And it tells you not to feed the enemy while you're in war. We need to educate our people. And if we need to use that facility that's in the community that we call the church, that is a protective, that is a place of protection. We, the church, we are the tabernacle as a people. That is a place where we can come, and I think we will gain more traction and more understanding from the community, actually, if we do this. That's a place where I think it's a facility built in the community with the limbs of protective mechanism, with the limbs of honor, and protection, where you should not be told to go away and you shouldn't feel like you got to go away. Because on my last talk, I talked about why people running away, and that's because of hypocrisy and not enough care there, not enough aid. It's natural to want to be aided and cared for as a family and community. It's natural for people to want to be sharpened. That's called inspiration. Inspiration is another reason for living, to be inspired. The most way and the most tangible way of being inspired is to learn something. So if you can come there and learn about yourself, anger management teach you about yourself. They teach you the limbs of personality, the limbs of what self-concept, the limb of awareness, where people need these things, where black people have suffered because they are in a chaotic situation. They might not, most black people are in province because of political concerns and political lockouts. So we don't never know what's pointing to our death if we don't have truth tellers and we don't have real protective sector. And the church is one of those places that we use as that, but then it got burned down, and then now we use the church as a message so people can go high and low in Jesus and ring their voices and gain a lot of money and buy condos and buy BMWs and get people time money and not be fair to the community at large. That has been happening. That has been proved, documented, proved. Well, churches and pastors have been took down because of this, which is ridiculous. Because when you against the community, you against yourself. When you above family, you too high. You cut your nose off and spite your own face. So you got a whole community of people in shambles because they have no protection. They have no protected outlet. They have no sacred place to go. There should be, yeah, that's fine. If you're going to be, holiness is great if you want to do it, but you shouldn't shun anybody else out because they don't understand it. Every day of the week, there's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Maybe there's a day where people can come in and do that. And there's a time where everybody can do who they do. Everybody don't have to do the same thing because we're all God's children. We all human beings. We're all family. We're all community. And we have a race to protect. And in terms of self-preservation. And I think the church has misinformed us what community really is. You're basing community off religion as the church, and you are the largest project that the community has as black people, besides the schools, and they're closing them down. So in this war we in, and we in a political war, where black people being shaped to the bottom, forced into province, where people are hurting their wives, children, shooting each other because they're adjacent to crime. Because they're in province, which is adjacent to crime. Don't understand why they're doing these things. We can't find a space to teach them because the church is too holy. What is holy and pure when you can't aid your community and your family? What is holy and pure? I think we got to misinform. We're directed the wrong way in terms of this. And we are suffering in our own communities, in our own families, because we're not instilled in and deposited integrity into our community and our fellow brothers and sisters and our children throughout a facility and throughout a space where we can all adopt to and attract to. I think that's important. Nobody's above what we know to be our beginning of something. We all came from a space. And if we got a community facility we can use, or we need to understand these things that we've developed where we attract most massive black people, we need to have a different message so that we are safe and so that we can aid ourselves according to according to what's happening to us in this time, in this sector of life. Everything cannot turn the same way when it's being when we're developing in a different atmosphere. We don't push nothing out that has happened, but we do create the things that we didn't introduce or that we decide to leave out. We bring them back. We need to stand and we need to have a space for ourselves so that we can have a unity, so that when our word and our voice go out, it takes power, it takes anchor, and it means something. Thank you for joining me.